Join us live on the Sherry Lord Talk Show podcast. Start your day off with a higher vibrational podcast with weekly guests covering spirituality, healthy foods, and so much more. Go to sherrylord.com for more info. Welcome, everybody. Woo! Welcome to the Sherry Lord Show. We're so grateful that you're here joining us, and we love all of our audiences that watches us weekly, and we have amazing guests. And by the way, I want to have a little note. If you want to be on my show, there'll be no fee. Reach out to me through sherrylordpodcast@gmail.com and let me know why you want to be on my show. And we'll make arrangements for that. We also have ads. So if you want to place an ad, go to www.sherrylord.com. And we'd be more than happy to promote you, get you out there, and even have you on our show. And we have a very special guest that has a really good topic that we can all relate to. And I love her. She's wonderful. She's from Traverse City, Michigan. And she is an amazing writer, an entrepreneur, an author, and a coach, and so much more. Welcome, Lorri Schreiber. I have to say your last name right. Lorri Schreiber. Thank you for joining us. I've known you for a long time and love you. And can you tell people a little bit about you and, where you are, what you're doing, and about the topic, okay, no K, setting boundaries? I think this is a really good topic.
Yeah, it's something I learned over the past few years. I spent my life thinking that I was a kind person doing things for people and helping people,
Yeah.
and kind of assuming everyone else is really cool too, but I never set boundaries for myself. Someone asked me to do something, someone asked me, and it negatively affected my life a lot. I kind of, oh, we're going to do this. Okay. And I just didn't think it through, or what's the best for me or what's the best for my family. And so over the past few years, I kind of got hit the hard way with experiences of just, people you're always there for, then they kind of screw you over, like,
Yeah.
Not everyone has the same kind of, thing back. But when I look back into all those times, I always had intuition and gut feelings that I didn't follow. Right.
Yeah.
I knew I did things that it was like, maybe even got married, but like I never went with that gut feeling that I should have. And so as I started living more spiritually the last several years, you've been life-changing for me. Thank you with all the therapy work you've done with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I started to recognize that I had a problem not setting boundaries with people, which is interesting because I feel like people in my life, like my sister, we're raised by the same mom. She seems good at setting boundaries, So, and I just thought I was being a kind, helpful person, so I didn't really get it. So when I made a couple decisions maybe about 5 years ago. Number one, to start listening to my intuition. Like if I hear something, I do it. I don't care what they tell me. Sometimes they've told me to throw $20 on the ground. I've done it, So number one, listen to intuition. But number two, setting boundaries. So then it's like, but then I was like, okay, I'm at this point now that I can set boundaries, but it's kind of challenging to set boundaries because someone asks you to do something, you're like, well, you're supposed to set boundaries. So, so it's too much, right? It's too much. So inspired by my son, now 17, he was, it was several years ago. My son, Jack, has Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Totally inspired by him, life-changing. He started saying, okay, and no K. And that was like, because in his brain, that makes sense to him, right? This is okay. Well, this is no K. So I started in my own life taking on the okay, no K over everything. Somebody asked me to be on a podcast. Is that okay or no K? I mean, that easy. Someone says, you want to go out to lunch? I literally take that okay or no K. Yeah, that's okay. Or is it going to interfere with what I have going on? Or am I supposed to do something for someone? Or am I supposed to, I needed my own time or whatever. So even though I know I needed to set boundaries, it was challenging to set boundaries.
Yeah.
Until
a lot of people have problems. Yeah.
Yeah, until I learned this concept of okay, no K. And it's made my life so easy because it's such a simple question. It's such an easy, simple that I ask myself over little things.
Wow, this is amazing. A lot of people, it's like a new muscle because it's foreign. They've not had that muscle to say no to things, or a fear. They're a fear that they're not going to like them, or they're going to be mad at them, or you did something terrible because saying no, But I think your life experiences have really helped you strengthen and not only just trust your intuition, but speak your truth without fear behind it, without any repercussions because you said no to something. I think a lot of people can relate to that. A
Yeah,
lot of people. I think almost everybody at some point in their life relates to that.
for sure. And the thing is too, like, because of some of the stuff I've gone through, I had a rough couple years and went through some things, but it brought me to a place outside of that where
Okay.
I'm so comfortable in my own skin. I'm so comfortable with who I am. Which is funny because I raised my daughters. I have 2 daughters. I remember right when I gave birth, I want my kids comfortable in their own skin. I want them confident.
Yeah.
I want them,
Yeah.
and I might have gone overboard with one of them, but they have that. I didn't have that as a teenager. I didn't have that, and I didn't have it most of my life. I do now. I'm very comfortable. I'm comfortable saying no. I'm comfortable. I mean, I did add like a maybe K,
Yeah.
like my mother asked me to do something, I'm probably going to do it. But it just, but I'm so much more comfortable with that. I wasn't necessarily before, but I look at it too, like all my life, just being there for people and helping people, like just jumping in and then when I go through something, where's everybody? So it's
Wow.
top of setting boundaries. It has, I'm very, I used to have a ton of friends with everybody. And
Yeah.
I still am at a distance, but the people I let in close are good quality people that
Mhm.
bring me up, people that I bring them up, that people that support each other. I don't let
Right.
people in that are going to sabotage or,
Right.
um, you know, so it was eye-opening for me. And I wish it hadn't taken me this many years in my life to figure out this stuff. I hope other people that struggle with this can figure it out much earlier, but yeah, and it's always amazing when I see other people who are so good at it from the get-go. Like I feel like my sister is. I feel like she's good at it. Like why is that? I don't know, but um I'm still willing to help anyone do anything, but it's got to be the right thing for me too.
Right. I think your discernment, your new muscle strengthened through all your life experiences, and that you value. I think there's a value tied to that too. You're valuing yourself, respect, and you're respecting them at the same time. And it needs to be reciprocal. People that I find that when you have a boundary with them are the ones that need them, that don't like them.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
don't like the boundaries. But you had some life experiences. Can you share some with us? Our audience just loves to connect with your life, and what are some of the situations where you had to make changes, in your life from all this? It be from your family or friends or situations. No names need to be, but just those
I
situations.
have a list. No. Now I have a great family, so I'm lucky there,
Yeah,
supportive, and I mean everyone has their quirks and that kind of stuff.
exactly.
But it was interesting, like so much. First of all, I think that because I'm a very non-judgmental person. I don't think I was
Yeah.
always that way, but I'm very that way now. And then maybe for a while I was hanging out with people that um weren't the right people for me,
Right.
and just really being there for people and realizing they don't really care,
You're right.
But I have learned, not just for myself, but like other friends I know or people I know that are really nice people, people attach on. They attach on and they take
Okay.
advantage of that. And so looking back, I was taking advantage on a lot of things that I
Yeah.
realize. I don't have
Yeah.
any feelings for anybody at all, and I also realized it's okay to be like, okay, I'm not mad at that person, but I can keep that person out of my life too. You know,
Yeah.
I don't hold any hard feelings and I don't hold any
Yeah.
judgments, but I don't have to have them around me.
Yeah.
and,
I think that's great.
and I just went through kind of a stage where like things were happening to me. It was like boom, boom, boom. And um, I'm a big believer that life happens for you, not to you. And so even though I went through a really rough stage, like I just felt like I was being attacked and so many things were happening and so many things that
At
were
one time.
unjustified. I'm not a perfect person by any means, but it was a lot of things coming at me that was way not justified. And but it opened me up to be where I'm at today,
Yeah.
you know.
Feels like
I
it
had
empowered you. Yeah.
Yeah, like I had a short-term job that I got let go, and I got let go because of an incompetency within the company. Like I understand the whole situation, like seeing it and stuff, but it was just like it was still like, what? It was hurtful. And the person who let me go wasn't even there. So she just took the word of like some person, it's like, and
Wow.
she didn't even ask me any questions or anything. And she was totally off. And then, well, later I found out that they're really good friends from high school. So it's like, okay. But at first it was like upsetting, but then it was like, I wouldn't be where I am today had I continued with that. It was just a seasonal
Yeah.
job, but I was starting something else too that I'm very successful at now. And I don't think I would have been, because I was starting them both at the same time. I don't think I would have been. So
Yeah.
when it happens at the time, and now I always think about that, or when friends are going through something, like when it happens at the time, it might feel bad, but it might be happening for you to
Well,
help you
good
make
for a
choices.
good reason to. Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah. Wow.
and I was at a really low place like 2 years ago, and for multiple reasons, like there's just so many examples, but if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And today I'm very happy with myself, by myself. Um, I'll let people in if it's good, for me and
Yep.
them. I mean, I set boundaries not just for me, but like I set my own boundaries too. Like, is this okay or no okay behavior? Like,
Yeah.
um,
Exactly.
well, like, and a lot of the stuff is so simple, but people get caught up into their situation. Okay. If you have a husband who's calling you a fat bitch, that's not okay. That's a no okay. 100% a no
Yeah.
okay. But somehow we get into these. Not that happened to me, by the way. I should have, I don't want to be out saying that my ex-husband did that. He did not. But like, you know what I mean? That's a no okay. But somehow we
Yeah.
forget that it's a no okay. That's
Yeah.
not even it, like some of the behaviors we put up with that
Yeah.
are definitely no okays, and we forgot that they're no okays. It's like we're too into the situation or something. As an outsider, like when I got out of my marriage and saw things looking back, and it wasn't we wasn't fighting, it wasn't all that kind of stuff, but looking back, like I didn't even realize all of the stuff that was happening
Yeah.
that are no okays, completely no
Yeah.
okays, but I didn't even see them when I was in it. Now I do. And now I will never, like, I won't allow people to treat me certain ways, and not in like a, "You're not gonna get me," just like it's just like, "Okay, I'm going over here, you stay over there then." Like, so and even though, like, my life might be messier now than it was several years ago, I'm happier inside. I had a happy life, I had, like, everything was this, like, picture perfect life, but inside I wasn't. Now everything's messy
Yeah.
on the outside, inside I'm clear, I'm good, it's but and I credit you for a lot of that. A lot of this stuff started with you and going through your sessions in therapy that were life-changing for me.
Mhm.
Um, and I've
Mhm.
even tried to explain for someone who hasn't been through some of those with you, the therapeutic part is that, like, you just guided me. You didn't I I did it myself. You guided me, but I
Yeah.
saw everything myself. I did, you know what I
It's
mean?
to empower you. It's to enlighten you and to empower you. But you made the right choices for you. You got it, you know? You empowered yourself and you have respect for yourself. I think, and for others to respect you. I think it's very important. I think you have bloom. And the other thing I love about you, you have to understand she is an amazing writer. I mean, she's got
Yeah.
a gift. And tell us a little bit more about what you do for writing too, because you love writing, and there's other people who want to be a writer. How can you help them?
I absolutely love writing. If I, and I do other things now. I always have.
Right.
I've always done like so many different things. So, like,
Yeah.
trying to, you were talking
Versatile.
earlier, trying to
Very versatile.
define
Yeah.
who I am. It's like, I've done all this, random stuff. But writing is really where I want to be, where I need to be. I've always done it on the side, you
Yeah.
know. So, but I've always done a lot of it too. So it wasn't like just here and there. But it started actually. It's kind of funny. So I was in commercial real estate about the time I was having babies and the market was kind of going down. And so I just decided
Yeah.
I'd be out there fighting for everything. I can stay home. Then I don't sit still. So I started, actually a friend of mine, she was in the corporate world as well. And we started a book writing club, and it was
Yeah.
just her and me. No one else joined us. So she and I wrote our first book together while we were home having babies. We wrote from the Vine Exploring Michigan Wineries. It's a coffee table book. It came out in 2008. At the time, there were only 51, actually 50 wineries. One was opening. So we wrote that. And then we were writing for Michigan Wine Country magazine a little bit. Then the
Yeah.
Department of Agriculture hired us to document the state's wine history. And
Wow.
while we did, it was like a year long project. And while we did that, we uncovered this amazing history of Michigan wines that even the wine industry didn't necessarily know. Like, we had a big industry in the 1800s, and we were third in the country behind California and New York. I think California and New York. But
I'm gonna bring your book up, and we got to go to the side a little bit, but I want people to see it and then let them know how they can get a hold of your book. But I want to bring your book up. Can you see it a little bit? Michigan wines.
Yep. So this is the history of Michigan wines. It goes back 150 years. There's some really fun stories like Prohibition in Detroit, which really never happened. There's a cool story in the UP about hiding wine barrels in the church.
Wow.
Because the coal miners back then, it was safer to drink the wine than it was to drink water, because the water wasn't clean, and they were Italian immigrants. Like, it was just part of their life. It wasn't like they're getting drunk and drinking wine all day, but so they hid the wine in the church, and then they came in and they dumped it to make a scene for across the country. There's some really fun stories. That's just uncovering those stories made us and actually we didn't even think about writing a book. A publisher contacted Department of Agriculture and they sent it to us. So it was really a fun story to find out. We found out there's a bunch of wineries right after Prohibition in the Detroit area, and just hearing all their family stories and
wow.
So it's a lot of fun stuff like that. From there, I've just written for a bunch of magazines and stuff. And then interesting, the Michigan Wine Country magazine is published by Detroit Media. So they started publishing the Michigan Cannabis magazine, asked me to write for them. And I'm like, well, I don't know anything. I don't know much about. I just never been part of my world. And I was actually really excited because cool, I get to learn something new, and weed, that sounds fun. And my first assignment was like banking and regulation, so it wasn't quite what I was expecting. But then I wrote an article about Vietnam vets who came back and they used weed for PTSD, and they opened weed, cannabis businesses. And then how the federal government, since it's not federally legal yet, they can't get it subscribed to them. But it really made a big difference in their life. I had no idea. I didn't smoke, drink, anything when I was a kid, and I was very unfamiliar with the whole cannabis world. So that was eye-opening to me that people are using it for PTSD. People are using it for pain instead of these pills they're getting addicted to. It opened my world. But so I just had, it's like writing. Actually, Schreiber means writer in German, so I think I was supposed to be a writer.
Wow. Absolutely. I mean, it's amazing. And you also, how can people get a hold of the book? Can people purchase the book, or
the first
is it online?
The first book, we actually won the Michigan Notable Book Award on the first one. It went to reprint right away, but because it's only 50 wineries in, and now there's 400 or something, that one's out of print. But the history obviously will never go away because it's history. And but that's on Amazon. Definitely get it on Amazon.
Oh, okay. So they can get it on Amazon. That's huge. And you write for a magazine right now, or several?
Here and there. It depends on how busy. I'll get people ask me for assignments once in a while. I'll pitch something. I want to focus more on that. And actually, I'm working on a couple book projects myself. But because it's not pressing some of my other work. So I just recently was I need to block this time. I need to do it. I need to make it happen, because my life is better when I'm writing. That I do know. You also asked me about other people who want to write. And I have always said, I've talked to so many people who are I want to write. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get started. I got to organize it. And honestly, just write. Don't care. First of all, anything you write, however you start, it's not going to come out like you think it's going to. It's going off on its own tangent. It has a life of its own. When you start writing an article, a book, anything, it's going to take it where it takes it. But people get too caught up in I don't know how to get started. I don't know what to do. Just write. It doesn't matter if it's all garbage. You can
edit it and do all that other stuff.
You don't have to write it handwritten. But just write, and don't worry about where it's going. Don't worry about the end. It will go where it's going. It will take you on its own journey, and you'll get there. But I mean, that's the biggest thing. Just do it. Don't worry. People worry, and our first book, we were writing the first book was a guidebook to how to get from winery to winery, and tidbits about the winery, and it turned into a coffee table book. So Yeah, it takes a life of its own. Just
Yeah.
do it. Just
It'll
do
get, yeah, I think what you're saying is just start, let it be what it is. It doesn't matter. It'll form, is what it
it.
feels like. It will form, you
But
know.
be good. Be good at the grammar, or get an editor. I'm so concerned about our younger generation with their texting, and nobody knows that you are. They think it's YOUR now. I think that's more common than the right way now, right? So, but that's, I guess that's generations change and things change. We'll
Yeah,
see.
they do change. Everything seems to be changing. But you also, you had a lot of business experiences, and there's people who want to create their own business or be an entrepreneur. And some of them are an entrepreneur, and some don't realize that they are. They get all these ideas, and what can they do to ground it in to actually create something they're getting? Because a lot of people have ideas and it just sits there. They don't know how to take this another step towards it, or they got to trust. What is the issue with that?
I don't know that I'm the best one to give advice on that.
Mhm.
I am a big believer on, if you build it, they will come. Just
Yeah,
do it. Just
exactly.
do
That's
it.
that's a good one.
I mean, just do
Yeah,
it. But I don't know that's the right way for most businesses. I think sometimes you have to have some planning and some organization and stuff like that.
structure. Yeah, a little
Anything
bit of a structure.
anything I've done and succeeded in business has just been, just do it. They'll show
Yeah,
up. Just do it.
yeah.
And
It seems,
that's my
yeah, it
advice.
seems
Do it.
inspiring. Like once you just do it, you're inspired by it, and all the ideas and thoughts come, and you just put it together, not worrying about how it's gonna be. You just do it. It sounds like you just do it.
I'm just like, get her done, and if you build it, they will come. But I don't know that that's the best advice for every business. There's some risk
Yeah,
in some businesses, and maybe it needs to be planned out a little bit better than I do. But um, yeah, I think more is just, I think the biggest thing is getting over that hump that you can't do it.
yeah. That's good advice. Now that is really, really good advice, because yes, you can. If you have the thought of the idea, I believe all things are possible. I really do.
Yeah, and plus, if
Yeah,
you're constantly saying, "Well, I don't know how, I don't think I'm good enough, I don't know what to do," like
yeah.
all those phrases. I mean,
Your own insecurities. Yeah,
I've been through the Tony Robbins seminars, like that would not fly in his seminars, like. But if you're saying that, that's what's going to happen, right? So you just have
yeah.
to believe you can, and you can. And
You have
the
to
other,
trust. Yeah,
the other thing too that I think people forget, like, we're all equal souls on this earth. We're all
yeah,
equal.
yeah,
Nobody's better than anybody. And
yeah,
like, once I started feeling that way and feeling, it just made me
yeah.
feel better. And it not only about myself that I'm equal, but I see other people as equal, no matter what their behaviors
Yeah,
are.
just
Like,
like your confident levels there, you just know you can, and there's no question about that. You live in Traverse City, and it's a beautiful, and I'll be there in August, but I'm looking, but it's beautiful. You got the big bay there. Not only that, you have all these wineries out there, and you have, what do they do in their own beer now out there? What can you tell us about Traverse City? It's a growing city, actually.
it's completely amazing. I mean, there's great restaurants, there's tons
Yeah.
of ways, and a lot of people don't think about. I mean, that was one of my jobs as well, as director of Leelanau Wine Trail. And when I was there, we won second best wine industry in North America by USA Today. Like, we beat all of California.
Wow.
People don't think of Michigan and think of, like, first of all, they think auto industry if they're not
Okay.
familiar
Yeah, they
there.
do.
So there's that. They don't realize how beautiful it is either. Michigan's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
It's
The wines,
gorgeous.
wines are award winning. They compete against the top wines in the world. I
Wow.
mean, it's always like that. But sometimes people think of it as sweet wine. That's not true. Our sweet wine reputation came from, really, like, St. Julian is the oldest winery in the state. So at the time that they started in business, sweet wines were what was popular. And then they're a major highway where people come to Michigan, and it's the travelers. Travelers who want to go get wine want some sweet wine, because they're not like wine connoisseurs. So anyway, Michigan produces beautiful wines, dry, sweet, whatever you want. We do ice wine. There's only a few places in the world that can do ice wine.
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously the Bay, the Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes. We're not an auto industry, so um,
No, no. I really hope people go visit Traverse City or the upper north area up there. But I mean, it is gorgeous. The bay, the downtown, the food is fabulous, and the shopping and all the wineries. You guys have little vans now, I've noticed, and people can have wineries and little dinners or lunches or samples on them. I thought that was very interesting, very creative
so
with the way they do
yeah.
that.
so many events that you can do, like, and pairing foods and wines. And this wine is meant to be paired with food. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not meant to be like you just drink it and get drunk. It's meant to be like combination with your food.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and another thing too that people, I think a lot of people don't know about Michigan is that we are the second most agriculturally diverse state behind California.
Ooh. Wow. No, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So we have the local foods, we have the local wines. Um, and there's now farms are starting to do experiences. I should disclose I do social media for Michigan Agritourism, but the Michigan Agritourism Group, there's farms all over the state that you can go do fun things, take the kids for educational stuff. You can go, a lot of them have wines or hard ciders or beers, and or you learn how to, like, kids can go for a camp and learn how to milk animals or feed babies, or there's like
Yeah.
really cool stuff Santa shows up everywhere. Easter Bunny is showing up everywhere at the farms now. So there's a lot of stuff to do too in Michigan like that people just don't think. If you haven't been here, you should come here. I think more people came here after the pandemic.
Yeah,
That people
absolutely.
drive safe.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's just I always look forward to being there, and I always look forward to the beauty. The beauty, and so diverse with so much different things to do there. You're not bored at all. You know?
Yeah. I'm
They
not
have
bored. Yeah.
everything going on.
I'm not bored at all because I bought a fixer-upper downtown because HGTV made it look so fun and so easy. And it was built in 1895, and I'm just like, "What did I get myself into?" I have no idea what I got. I had no idea why I did this, but I'm partway through it now, so
Oh, yeah, but you just know intuitively what you need to do. And sometimes we don't know. We just, we are where we are in the moment. We make decisions, we take action, but it feels like it was a right decision. It feels like
it's
it's a
not a wrong
blessing.
decision. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah,
it's a tough decision, not a wrong decision.
no, it felt like the
Yeah.
right decision. It just felt very freedom. I felt freedom around you, around that, and that was really good. And now, how can people get a hold of you, Lorri? I mean, you have something coming up. I know you're gonna plan on doing another book, and you're coaching too. So if someone wants to, do they email you? If they want to have a question about something, or
Email,
how can they get a hold of you?
yep, email is always the best for me, and it's Lorri@LorriSchreiber.com, and I know that people spell Lorri wrong, they spell Schreiber wrong, so maybe that's challenging.
Yeah.
Um, that's really the best way.
Yeah, if that's easy, because you have your name up
Yep.
on there. You can see your name. How it is, it .com or .net, or
No,
is it Gmail?
so it's Lorri at
Yeah.
LorriSchreiber.com. Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, that'd be easy for people to get a hold of you. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we close?
I just hope that people get to, like, just get to where I feel like inside, like, and
Yeah,
so many people
within.
struggle, like, I struggled, I was a happy person, but I still had things, and it
The
just,
truth
like,
within.
was freeing to just
Yeah.
be your own person, to live spiritually too. That's the biggest thing. I probably, like, maybe 5 years ago said, "I am going to listen to my intuition." And I
Hmm.
didn't do it right at first all the time. I still ignored stuff and made some bad decisions, but, like, I feel like my intuition was always there.
Hmm.
And now I do dumb things, like, because 'cause I'm feeling I have to. I just, like, random things. I bought a woman breakfast last year because I was told to. I didn't question it, I just did it. Like, I just did it. And interestingly, when I said that, I said, "Hey, I wanna pay for her breakfast but just let me leave," I didn't mean it. And the waitress goes, "That is so weird," because she was there last week and some guy at the bar, I was eating breakfast at a bar in a restaurant with my computer, a guy doing the same thing paid for her breakfast a week before.
Wow.
So, I don't know her story, I wish I did just because 'cause I'm curious now, but, and
Yeah.
that's an example of many things where I'm just
I
listening now,
mean, your heart. Yeah.
and sometimes I don't even understand why I'm being told to do something, I just do it. Because, it's probably that person needs
Yeah.
something, that it probably has nothing to do with me. I'm just the
Yeah.
but I listen to those things now, and I feel like I'm a big believer in karma too.
Yeah.
So, you listen, you do the things you're supposed to, I feel like stuff comes back as well. So, and when I was going through actually my whole life, I lost my father when he was 46, my stepdad, but he was my dad to me. And so that's a lot of years. And since then,
Exactly.
I consistently found shiny pennies in the right situations at the right time when I'm going through something, you know? So someone dropped
Right.
those for me. Someone, you know, I don't think my
Yeah.
dad dropped them from heaven or whatever, you know, but like someone was told to drop them or just dropped them or whatever. And it's happened. I can give so many examples. The very like I can pull into a parking lot and park far away, pull in, get out, and there's a penny there. Like a random spot, you know, stuff like that will happen.
Yeah.
The first one I found when I moved, because I lived downstate for a long time, I moved back to northern Michigan. And within a few months, I took the kids to the Sleeping Bear Sand Dunes, which is a huge climb. You know the sand dunes, right? You've been there?
Yeah. Yes.
I got to the top and I was sitting there looking at the lakes and there's you know how much sand is there in the sand dunes? And there's a penny right where I sat. Like, how is it even, how is it possible? So,
It's,
but
you know what? Some things we just can't explain, but we just know. We just know they're there. They're
yeah,
there. They're there. And you are amazing. We so loved having you on our show. We'll have you back. We just loved having you, and we just think you're amazing of your own life experience. And you know, we all have lessons, and when we get it, there's no repeat because you're more aware. You know, and you have a better discernment, and we all have life stuff, you know. And I think this was a really good topics to talk about diverseness, and you were very diverse. You have, and you also do real estate.
yeah, I'm a commercial real estate director in for KW Commercial in Traverse City. That's what I did before I stopped, you know, stayed home and writing. Um, and wrote, but like I love that too. So it's like I
Yeah.
feel like I get to do these different things, and I love it. And by the way, just one quick story about when we stayed home and wrote our books and we won that award. Part of the award came from traveling around the state and doing presentations in front of groups of people. And I mean, I was that kid in high school. You can pay me $1,000,000 to get on stage and speak. But apparently, as a stay-at-home mom, $300 in a hotel room out of town was enough for me to get up and speak. It was like a little break, you know what I mean? And so that was also something I didn't think I could do. And so that's we can all do everything. We can do it. Like
Yeah.
sometimes we just have to
It
figure out how
felt
to do
like you
it.
had such a passion, and you already knew what you were going to talk. It felt like it was just natural for you once you did it.
I mean,
Passion.
there were
We'll
times where
have
I got
butterflies, you
I had
know.
to have a half a glass of wine before I got up or something. So but I did it. I did it, you know.
Even if you're nervous, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But the main thing is that you did it.
I did
And I
it.
think that was so empowering that you did it. And just blessings on your journey. And also for everyone who's watching, we'll have her back on. Go to www.sherrylord.com, SHERRYLORD. We have her information on our website, and you can comment below on our Facebook, and we're also on YouTube and LinkedIn and Instagram. So you can connect from her from there, and you can also get more information. Her book is there too. I will go back and put a note that you can get it on Amazon, which we want you to do, because the winery there is amazing, and you've touched many different branches. You're very versatile, so you can't be just one thing. I feel you get bored.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're creative, so that's juice there just gets you going, and I think that's beautiful. And thank you for being on our show, Lorri. We so blessed and have you, and we want to thank all our listeners. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Namaste to all, an abundant, prosperous life.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.